Hey guys. Welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are well. Sorry it's been a minute. I guess you never see things coming and everything catches up to you at once, and it can just get overwhelming. I know I've been keeping you waiting, so thank you so much for being patient with me. Anyway. So in this video, I am going to discuss what Blackpink could have been. What Blackpink could have been if they were allowed to live up to their potential. What Blackpink could have been if the girls had a lot more freedom and creative control. What Blackpink could have been if their career had turned out differently. Basically I'm going to lay out Blackpink's career on what I would have liked it to be if I was their manager. I have divided the video into multiple sections, and I will be discussing how I would have done things in terms of their activity level, concept, solo work etc. This is just a fun, light-hearted video, so don't take anything too seriously. And of course, feel free to leave your version of Blackpink's career as their hypothetical manager in the comment section below. Alright, now let's get right into it. First and foremost, I would have given the girls freedom. Not only creative freedom, but also freedom when it comes to their personal lives. They would be allowed to drive, drink, get tattoos and so on, as long as they did it responsibly and didn't go overboard. I think maintaining a certain image as an idol is important for sure, but at the same time shoving all these restrictions down their throats isn't the way to go. In terms of creative freedom, I would have probably started off the way YG did. I think Boombayah was a great way to debut, and Blackpink honestly kill the girl crush concept every time. It is definitely their strong point. So it makes sense to establish a strong foundation and then allow the artist to venture into whatever else they may want to. I wouldn't have changed anything about releasing Square 1 in August 2016, and following it up with Square 2 in November 2016. Square 1 with Boombayah and Whistle, which are two very different songs, already showed some versatility, and Square 2 with Playing with Fire and Stay, give an even better picture of what Blackpink is capable of. These four songs could have acted as the tip of the iceberg or like dipping your toes in to test the water. After Square 1 and 2, I would have let the girls be much more involved in the songwriting and producing process. The lyrics and melodies would actually mean something to them, making the songs feel more personal and therefore genuine, and much more true to the artist. They would be allowed to have as much or as little creative freedom as they would like, so they would actually feel like they were enjoying their career, and consumers would also get a good mix of songs that were following their sort of underlying girl crush theme, along with some personal flavor sprinkled in. I would also give them a lot more freedom in terms of working on projects that were outside of Blackpink. For example, hosts. To be honest, I really think Rose and Jisoo have voices that are made for hosts. They both really have a lot of potential in that direction. As their manager, I would encourage them to venture in that direction and do my best to provide them with host opportunities. In terms of the group concept, like I said before, I think Blackpink really owns the girl crush concept, so I would let that sort of remain their basic group persona. I also like the idea of them having a black side and a pink side, so I think keeping that as a general theme or guideline for their comebacks is great. I would either alternate between comebacks leaning more towards their black and pink sides, or have an even mix of songs that represent both sides in every album. Other than that, of course, they would have the freedom to experiment and have a comeback that is completely unrelated to their general theme, or to throw in a few songs to each EP or album that are outliers. This would allow them to be as versatile as they want, explore other concepts and try new things, and it wouldn't feel like they're sticking to the same old strategy to them and Blinks alike. I would also allow versatility in their album in terms of subunits. They could play around with their black and pink sides with subunit songs sprinkled into their albums. I feel like Jennie and Lisa, or at least their personas in the group, represent the more black side of Blackpink, whereas Rose and Jisoo's represent more of the pink side. Honestly, just imagine a Jisoo subunit with Rose's high, bright vocals, contrasted with Jisoo's low, mesmerizing vocals. It would be heaven. So they could have songs with those subunits, and of course with other subunits as well, not strictly Lisa and Jisoo. There's so much they could do with subunits. Each one gives off a different vibe and that can translate into their music as well. With comeback frequency, I think 2 comebacks every 6 to 7 months is a pretty good amount, with non-promotional or non-comeback related activities happening during the time in between. The only reason there would be a longer gap between comebacks were if the girls were on tour or working on any other major projects. Assuming there would roughly be a month of promo activities a month before and a month after a comeback, that would leave us with approximately 3 to 4 months of time in between. So in that free time, the girls would either have their own little web series or variety show like Blackpink House or 24365, or they would be allowed to work on projects outside the group. Jisoo, for example, came into YG wanting to be an actress. So this would be the perfect time for her to take advantage of available opportunities to work on her acting career. 3 out of the 4 girls have YouTube channels as well. So this would be a great time for them to be more active and upload more frequently on their channels. Because of their freedoms, they would literally be allowed to film whatever they want, kind of like how Solar from Mamamoo's YouTube channel is right now. That way they would be in complete control, would be able to decide what they upload and when, and would even have the opportunity to show a side of themselves they have never before to their fans, if they wanted to, of course. Their YouTube channel would be something they did not only for promotional activities, and it wouldn't be something where they uploaded once and simply because they must since they started a channel in the first place. Rather, it would be a fun outlet for them to express other sides of themselves and literally do whatever they want. In terms of their variety shows, it wouldn't be anything super strenuous or something that needed a lot of work. It would be something that was relaxing and fun for the girls as well. That way not only would Blinks get content in between comebacks, but the Pinks would also get to rest. And of course, the entire 3 to 4 month gap that they have outside of comebacks and comeback related activities would not be spent on filming or working on something else. The girls would get plenty of time to take a break as well. When it comes to V lives, the girls would have at the very least one comeback V live, and birthday V lives, and ideally random ones scattered through the year as well. I probably would have some kind of a schedule lined out for the lines, but only as a guideline with suggestions for when it may be a good idea to stream, not a strict schedule they are required to follow. With solo comebacks, I think 2018 was a good year to start. So starting then, each member would have had a solo comeback one by one, which means by 2021 they would all have had their solo comebacks. I know people will come for me when I say this, but let's be real. Blackpink could use a vocal coach. I'm not saying they can't sing, but hiring a vocal coach would only refine their vocals and allow them to shine so much more. They would also avoid straining their vocal cords and struggling due to the lack of proper vocal technique. So that is something I would definitely invest in. Secondly, I think I would appoint an official leader. Blackpink was made to blow up internationally. So keeping that in mind, I think Jennie is fit to take the leader position, and I feel like Rosé would naturally end up being her backbone in terms of the role. Like Hobie is for Namjoon. Appointing an official leader would keep things a little more organized, and having someone that looks out for all the members in the group as individuals and in the group as a whole, would really help. I have noticed that in a lot of Blackpink's American or international interviews, Lisa, Rosé, and Jennie tend to get carried away sometimes, isolating Jisoo due to the language barrier. It isn't their fault and they clearly aren't doing this in purpose. But if the group had a leader, things like this would be much less likely to happen. Hiring a translator in this situation makes no sense, because 3 out of the 4 members speak English. Having a group leader on the other hand, would give Jennie a sense of responsibility and extra attentiveness, so she would naturally be able to sort out any shortcomings in foreign interviews that may result from the language barrier, etc. And last but not least in this section, cultural appropriation. I feel like one of the main things that have currently tinted the Blackpink's reputation is the amount of times they have appropriated certain cultures over and over. Had I been their manager, I would have made sure to issue a proper apology, and address the situation as soon as it started to get bad, and not waited for it to peak and hope that it'd blow over or something. Other than their lack of activities and comebacks, I feel like a lot of Blinks will agree that something they would have wished was done differently in their career is that Blackpink and their management had gone about cultural appropriation issues differently. Alright, so I know I probably missed out a lot in this video. Because planning an idol group's entire career is incredibly difficult and time consuming, and there are just so many different elements that need to be considered and planned out in detail. So if there's something I missed that you wanted to know about, or if there's something you want to add, please leave a comment below. I also understand that I am not fully aware of everything that comes with the role of a manager, and the insider details of how the K-pop industry works. So maybe some of the things I described will come across as overambitious or unrealistic. But this is all in good fun, so like I mentioned before, don't take anything I said seriously. I really enjoyed making this video. It was like playing a little game that involved planning out someone's career lol. I'm not saying I should be Blackpink's manager or something. But for real. If Blackpink had a career that was somewhat like the fictional one I laid out in this video, just imagine what they could have been. They are already the biggest Korean girl group on the planet right now, and have maintained that despite not having had a group comeback since 2020. Blinks are holding on to them and love them no matter what, despite the track YG has chosen to take for their career, because we recognize how sweet and talented the girls really are. We see their potential and their capabilities. Had Blackpink had a career that was more fulfilling, less restrictive, and allowed them to reach their highest potential, they would have been even higher than they are today. Which is so incredible and so sad to think about at the same time. We don't know what the future holds when it comes to Blackpink, so I'm honestly not too sure how much things can be changed if they can be changed at all at this point. So I only hope they are able to make the most of the time they have left if 2023 means the end. Sorry about the super long outro lol. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.